I had a very interesting conversation with Eric Weinstein, and we're going to talk about it on the podcast from a physics standpoint. He's very perplexed about the UFO thing, and what's interesting is like he's one of those guys, like a lot of very smart people that were like, it's all horseshit, it's all bullshit. But now he's come around to what the fuck is going on.
What's his take?
Well, he doesn't have a take necessarily, but he's looking at all the data and all the evidence. We're going to have like a whole long conversation about it, but essentially there's one of two possibilities. Either this shit is coming from somewhere else or it's coming from here. So either we or someone has some real legitimate groundbreaking technology, or someone's visiting us from somewhere else. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's one of the, because now there's enough data that show that these things are moving in a way that they can't understand. There's video that they're moving in a way they can't understand. They're not showing a heat signature from visible means of propulsion. It's not like a rocket. It's like whatever they're doing something different. And then Commander David Fravor, who you talked to, that Tic Tac experience, if they really did track something that went from above 50,000 feet above sea level to 50 feet in less than a second, what the fuck is that? Like, if that's real, we're assuming that all their calibration was on and all their equipment worked together, but it was multiple different visual sightings of this thing too. Different jets saw it, different people, uniform story. Everybody's talked about how it just moved off at insane rates of speed. And then there's all these other ones like Ryan Long and all these other people that he flew with that are seeing these similar behaviors from these things where they just disappear. They move off at insane rates of speed. So it's one of two things. Either he said there's been some sort of parallel science, some science that's going on where nobody knew about it, and all the top physicists were completely unaware of this tech, and they were developing it independently in some fucking lab in the mountains for the government, or aliens. Or someone else.
There's a bunch of other options, and one thing is, I just talked to David Kipping. It's just I highly recommend his YouTube channel, Cool Worlds. He's a legit. It's like Huberman. You sometimes get these like legit scientists who are also good communicators. They'll step up.
Oh, nice.
So he's like the Huberman of astronomy. Young guy. You'll probably have him on eventually. I'm betting.
Sure. I'll have him on.
He's brilliant. Definitely check out his channel. Anyway, he's an astronomer, so he's deep in the astronomy, astrophysics community, and he says, and you've said this before too, is he tries to really hard not to think about stuff he wants to be true, like be very kind of calibrated properly, because with the UFO sightings, there is a part of you, I don't know why exactly, but you kind of want it to be true.
Not kinda, like all the way. I want like 98% of it to be true.
And there you have to be a little bit careful, but yeah, definitely, like to me, it feels like the scientific development that we're doing now with Starship, so SpaceX and Starship, with all the advancement in telescopes, we're just getting more and more and more data to where we're not going to have these shitty videos. We're going to have high resolution understanding. And because it's becoming more okay to talk about aliens, I think the actual scientific community has a bigger humility about the topic, to where they're expanding of their like the window of their study to consider all kinds of physical phenomena, all kinds of observation, all kinds of sources of data and signals and so on, to where we would, I would hope we would get definitive signals of alien life.
Yeah, definitive.
Like
when you look at the capabilities of satellites today, like satellite imagery, how good are they? And how many of them are up there that they could direct to a very specific area and get really good video or photographs?
It's incredible. It's really, really good.
So why wouldn't
Starlink,
they just call
they're going to cover
in?
the whole. Well, you're talking about going from thousands to tens of thousands to potentially hundreds of thousands in a couple of decades.
But are they capable of imagery, the Starlink ones?
Yeah, yes, they're all capable of imagery, but they're not. That's not their purpose.
Right.
So like
that's for internet. But what about for visual? When they have spy satellites or satellites that can look down and see everything that's going on in the city, how good are those? They say they can read license plates from space.
Yeah.
Is that real?
I think that's real, yeah.
Okay. But how prevalent are they?
I don't know, because like the capability I think is there to high resolution image everything, but I don't know how much desire there is for that kind of application, because there's so much more for other kinds of applications. So like low resolution imaging for mapping purposes and so on, imaging for military purposes, there's applications, but that's like very specific kind of application. I just don't know it's like a James Webb Telescope, right? There's like huge battles going on what that thing should do, because there's a lot of it's a constrained resource. You have to battle of what are the interesting questions, where should it look, what's the resolution of data, where in the sky should collect that data, how frequent, and so on.
Yeah.
In that same kind of way, there's probably battles over satellite resources of what should it be doing.
Sure,
And so-
especially with intelligence agencies and stuff.
especially because the intelligence agencies are probably resisting this UFO stuff.
If I was an evil dictator
Yeah.
and I wanted to get my government to have control over the skies and to be able to see anything from anywhere at any time, and I wanted to like have mass surveillance drones in the sky above cities, a good way would be aliens. But we have to capture these things on video, and there's only one way. We're going to deploy these high-resolution video cameras in the sky and capture everything. And there's sightings every day. It won't be a matter of time before we have real high-resolution photo of something we can definitively prove is not ours, is not of this earth.
Well, do you think
People
there's-
would sign the fuck up.
Do you think there's that much excitement about aliens? Like, I'm not like it's ultimately why are aliens so interesting? Because to me, philosophically and scientifically, it's a super interesting question.
Yeah.
Like, just even the question, are we alone? That's really exciting, but it's not. Do you think people would vote to pay for that versus to pay for?
You don't want them voting for that. Just do it. Just
Oh,
do it. And
dictating,
they'll
right,
go,
right.
okay. Just tell them it's imperative. Just like the fucking these bills that get passed. We're not voting on those bills,
Yeah.
right? Representatives, they just do it. They just do it. They just put them in the sky. The aliens are coming. We got to do something. That would be the new climate change. It's like aliens. Oh, the aliens are coming, and you're either with us against the aliens, or you're with the aliens. What are you, a fucking traitor? You're gonna give us up to the aliens, you piece of shit? And so there's gonna be some sort of a ideological conflict on Earth, whether or not we donate money to the defenses. Like the Democrats who want to defend against the aliens, the Republicans are gonna be like, hey, let's just hear them talk first. And we're gonna have a fucking giant dilemma here.
Yeah, I mean, I hope aliens are, if they're out there, I hope they're detectable by us humans and we can interact with them. Probably not communicate with them.